Wait, I forgot to show my face. Where's my face? Why didn't I show my face? Oh, here it is. Oh, now I remember why. Well, oh well. Hey, welcome to Stone Soup, everybody. Thank you for coming to this great all open mic. Tune in for next week as one of our open micers is going to have a full length feature. I'm looking very forward to that. And I'm looking very forward to all hearing all your work tonight. I know a lot of you guys have new work coming out, new publications, want to hear all about them, want to read the poems if you can. And now I'd like to start off as according to the Remninator 5000. It'll be great to hear this person coming up. Let's welcome up to kick things off, Mr. Jeff Taylor.
Hey, can I go in just a few minutes? I'm just busy at work right now, so I'm not able to
Okay,
go.
no problem. All right, in that
I
case, let's
didn't
go.
expect to be first. Thanks.
No one ever expects to be the first poet in an open mic. All right, let's go to
Our
Jackie
first weapon is
Chow.
surprise! Surprise and
Yes.
fear!
Confess, confess, confess.
Our two
Uh, con
weapons!
okay, Jackie Chow, we're taking up too much of your time. Go on, go on. Welcome back.
Oh, okay, no worries, because I'm still trying to decide what to read. You said new poems? Yes, okay, so
Well,
I'm not going to
or
read
whatever you
old
have,
public.
but
Okay, this is a poem that's going to come out in a tribute to Madonna, an anthology. It's called Madonna Revisited. We flipped our black ponytails, one hand on a hip, the other shaking a finger, no, singing, I'm a material girl. Neighborhood kids, we giggled about kissing in spin the bottle games, as if kisses and hugs were all the price we had to pay for diamonds. We too painted our lips red and donned stilettos as we came of age. But we were no stars, reserved about our sexuality. But the queen of pop still inspires us with her iconic lyrics. Their meanings we now understand. Relatively short poem.
you got
And I
another?
have
Okay,
yes,
good.
I have another one. It's also for publication. They're looking for poems about Los Angeles. Okay, here it is. It's called Dear Los Angeles. It seems like yesterday I sank my sandaled feet into your damp grasses, climbed your concrete stairs, and traversed your walkways. My girlish figure slipped under locked gates after cheerleading practices, muddying my blue uniform. I still see myself in your community theater at Plaza de la Raza, the cloister by a rippling lake, where I fed blueberry muffins to the ducks. I miss the vibrancy of East LA, the quaint Victorian homes in Highland Park, and friends who moved from brick housing projects to the suburbs. Los Angeles, I have left you, but you will always sparkle like your hills at night. I think of you whenever I open the Venetian blinds. Are you looking back at me through your lit windows? Thank you.
Very nice.
Jackie, could you put the link for the LA
Yes,
opportunity in the chat? Thank you.
it's you know this publication. It's the ZZY. Oh, I can never say it. Kimberly Kobian, and she knows Dawn, and she posted it on Saturday afternoon poetry. I'll put the link. I'll get it right now, and won't take our reading time doing this. Thank you.
Thanks, Jackie. I'm jealous of the Madonna anthology credit. I would have never said I was a fan for the first 30, 40 years of my life, but then my girlfriend, her daughter, and her daughter's dad were sitting around a table. We play the alphabet game where you figure a topic, you go through. I was the only one who had a letter for every Madonna song, and I was filling in the blanks for everyone else, like everyone else in the table. I'm like, they're like, you knew Live to Tell, Chad? No one knows that song. Come on. You're full of it. But so yeah, mad jealous. So congrats. And I'm gonna bring up next Nike Truth.
Good evening, everyone. This is a short poem. Its working title is currently Enormous. Of course, I think about her and her soft skin, the crinkle of her eyes when she laughs, that she was the only person to get mad at me for the right reasons and accepted my everything. She knows the way I love is just like a dog for those people that are too hard to forget, chasing the whisper of her voice, just waiting obediently for the time when her spirit comes again and sets a hand on mine. Thank you.
Lovely, lovely. Thank you, Nike. And up next, let's bring up Mr. Bill Lewis.
Oh, why thank you. I'm so excited. So, you get one guess what we're going to do today. This is the penultimate chapter of Fran B. And while I was messing with it, somehow I made half of the text all uppercase, which pisses me off, and I didn't have time to fix it. So I will show you, and now it requires only two insects, that being Fran B, who I believe has been faithfully rendered by the voice of Robert Fleming. And now we go back to the spider. And I remember we had a wonderful, wonderful arachnid, an arachnid. Would we be so kind as to read the spider?
I think I can read the spider still, if that's okay.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, here we go. Let's see, I should be able to share by now. And here we go. And we are right about here. And that looks good. We should be right. Now should be able to see it. And one fall morning, Fran woke up shivering. She beat her wings to warm herself as she watched the sun rise over the forest. Greg was still asleep a half an hour later, so she flew over to the flower patch to find something to eat. In the past few weeks, it had become more and more difficult to find anything to eat because there were so few flowers left in bloom. It was, Fran realized, the beginning of the end for her. When there were no flowers to be found, she would starve if she didn't freeze first. The thought of death disturbed her, but there's nothing she could do about it, so she tried not to worry. Greg never let the thought of death disturb him in the least. I'll go when I go, he'd say. Just falling asleep without waking up the next day? He refused to say anything more about it. When Fran returned, having filled her stomach as best she could, he still hadn't moved. She landed next to him and shook him gently. His grip on the straw slipped and he fell to the ground below. One of his wingtips snapped as he hit. He tumbled over the side and lay there stiffly. She looked at the body for a short time without feeling any emotion, then got up and started flying aimlessly through the woods. A faint glimmer of reflected sunlight caught her eye. She flew around the web once, half inspecting, half admiring the good craftsmanship, then flew calmly into it. Strong glue held one wing and her thorax tightly. It hurt every time she moved, so she contented herself with waiting patiently for the web's owner to arrive. She hadn't long to wait. Miss Spider.
My, what tender little juicy morsel we have here.
Fran, are we there?
Okay, you didn't see my name.
I missed some names, sorry.
Okay. Hi, I'm back.
Oh, it's you, Fran. You must have had a good summer, or else you would have come back sooner.
This is okay. Over now.
Well, why don't you tell me about it?
Rather not. Bite me and let me dream happily again.
You've got all the rest of your life in this web, and your hurry to die? You must have met someone along the way. Tell me about her.
Um, I don't, I can't. I,
She cries and begins to tell the spider about Greg.
I, he died when I tried to wake him this morning. He just, oh, it doesn't matter. He was the only one who cared for me. I don't see any reason for trying to live a few more weeks without him.
Oh, Fran, I'm sorry for you, but there's nothing I can do, of course. So you came back to die.
Biz, you said that when you bite me, I'll dream, right? I want to dream when I was a baby in the hive. I want to dream when I was so happy with Sue, the teacher. I want to dream that I never left.
The hive. What about the hive and the other bees? Why don't you return there?
He ripped me apart. They'd say I was a coward.
But you're not a coward, are you, Fran? No. That's what they say what counts. Oh,
That's Fran.
sorry.
Uh, That, that's what they say, what counts. They give me a short trial, execute me. I'd rather die here.
Mm. You've learned a lot, but most bees never done happened here before. And what about the other bees? Do you feel the same way you do? You have a lot you could say to them, don't you?
Yes, if there were any, I'd only get a couple of minutes to say it.
Life can be like that. I don't suppose being torn will apart will be a very pleasant way to die. Hmm. It's not very important that you not struggle or cry when they kill you. It's essential to show them that you were brave. And to think differently is not necessarily cowardice.
They won't care. No one will ever understand what I'd say. They're stupid, even the council.
You'll understand. So will your teacher. If there's another younger you watching, she'll understand, right? And that's enough.
Huh?
Now come back to the hive with you.
I can't. I'll be torn apart.
Better than being some spider's lunch.
If there ain't anyone around, if teacher isn't there,
Then I'll know.
And there we come to the end of the second to last chapter. And thank you so much. You have done just a wonderful job of reading this poem of this piece. You make me so happy. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
thank you, Bill. I've always dreamed of being a bee.
Scorsese has Robert De Niro and Leonardo DiCaprio. Bill Lewis has Robert Fleming and Ari Whipple. And I guess John Wisick fits in there as the Harvey Keitel type. We are moving forward, and I'd like to bring up next it's Jan Rowe.
Thank you. This is from the February 4th. That was just this week. So this is what I wrote last week. Actually, I wrote two things. I wrote a little bit obituary, but this is what happened on the way to writers group. Red Line riders had to disembark by surprise at JFK, UMass. We were going up the stairs to change platforms. Thankfully, no buses. A woman on the stairs ahead of me turned halfway around and smiled, saying, "Grace and mercy." Smiling, I thanked her for the reminder about grace, unmerited favor, and mercy. I soon forgot about grace and mercy. I got into an argument. Thank you.
Too funny. Let's see. Oh, let's bring up the poet of Three Rivers himself, or themselves, because he is of Three Rivers. He has three rivers in him, or something like that. Let's welcome up Richard Spizak.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's an honor to be among this august crowd. I'm going to break with my own tradition and do some political stuff. This first piece is straight from tomorrow's press conference. Google still says it's the Gulf of Mexico, even though it's still real polluted, I guess, by Texaco. With all those rigs and leaking wells, is this an issue? Well, I guess it sells. When foolish leaders are under stress, they spin around and lift their dress. Look here, check this out. Oh, look, don't be embarrassed. Dirty lout. But please listen to what I say. Your lying eyes will not betray these sugar-coated lies away. I'll wave my hands and drop my pants and say under my breath, I never loved you anyway. And then this charming little ditty is called Phyllis Fong Isn't Wrong. Maybe you remember way back, just days ago, when they fired all the inspectors, you know, those people that like watch out for corruption, because we don't want them around. And this is called Phyllis Fong. She was chief inspector for the FDA. Phyllis Fong isn't wrong. Phyllis Fong isn't wrong. They mishandled those vandals, dragooned the chief away. She worked there longer. You just don't say. She knew the rules, so come what may, Phyllis Fong had a right to stay. The dragoons from Musk and Trump were wrong to escort away the agricultural executive inspector that reckless, feckless day. She knew her rights all along. They shouldn't have done this to the chief inspector, Phyllis Fong. She'll have her day in court, no doubt, if the right has not led and fled the court with its basic justice put to rout. They sent their goons to drive her away. They acted lawless that winter day. The inspector general take a solemn oath to follow the law, not some orange-painted oaf. To follow the law was her duty. She wouldn't play at their clumsy Punch and Judy. She told her colleagues to stand their ground, not to let the Trumpsters push them around. That winter's day, she was forced by thugs to leave and give way. She explained, the independent counsel of the Inspectors General on Integrity and Efficiency has taken the position that these termination notices do not comply with the requirements set out in law and therefore are not effective at this time. She would not cry out. She would not be carried. She kept her dignity, not like Larry, who'd been a Trump supporter all along, only to find out under the new regime he didn't belong. He knew the riddle, repeated it often. DEI would bury us in its clumsy tinfoil coffin. He sobbed. He whined when ordered out. He thought his rich uncle had more clout. The USDA Inspector General had a broad mandate pursuing safety for food. Few would hesitate. The USDA involved in bird flu research, a current concern. In 2022, they began the study. than the Neuralink company of Elon Musk, and so in an attempted retribution, he'd like to grind that organization to dust. Ms. Fong served as the first head of the Council of the Inspectors General on Integrity and Efficiency, so therefore she's automatically suspect in the Trump delinquency. And then this last one, for your amusement. This is called, What Is It? There's still this shit going on. There's so much. Okay, what is it? What is it that tumbles there deep down in his brain? Now it seems we're at war, the ancient, dusty, rusty nation of Spain. What is it that brings us once again near his ornery and sad refrain? Now we're at him at war. Which one is it? Oh, yeah, Spain. Who else is in to set his little heart afire? Is that the Maldives that provoke his ire? Was he losing there at golf once? Had this stewing mad lad deeply frowning in his cups? Was it Paraguay that caused his wrath and ire, that sent him screaming, frenzied, unaware of the high top of his tower? How is it he already forgot tonight that we bombed the little darlings not once but twice just in the last hour? And now they've got it. They've done it. He's really mad. They've got sand in his slippers when he visits Samarkand. He ordered out the Navy, sent them to attack, but they'll first have to find a nearby ocean. There might be an extra one hidden out back. The Galapagos Islands were on his weak list. He thought he saw one of the antique turtles lean back and shake a fist. And the Malay village raised his ire. He saw Miss Universe entry, and his little heart was all on fire. He asked them to send her to Mar-a-Largo, and that plucky little country told him right where to go. Last Tuesday, he told us Antarctica will be next. He thought it insulted him. Well, often, no, so what the heck. He built a ski resort there for Dawn and Ivana and Eric. He'll send them there in irons if they give him another panic. He heard of the ancient Egyptian god Bast. That was too much for him, that pussycat must be dispatched, and it shall not last. Just another whim. Once he saw a gopher at his Doral 18th hole. He had the whole thing set afire, so he dropped a hydrogen bomb there to ease his ire. Rent will be reduced for a while in the neighborhood. It was left a flaming radioactive zone, which for some, it just wasn't good. A mongoose was once shown to him sometime in a zoo, so he thought he remembered the damn thing was from Michigan, just outside Kalamazoo. So he had the whole place leveled last Friday night. When it was an unannounced episode, he watched it on TV. For entertainment, he gets his programming spot on. He always gets it right. Marco brings the nachos. You can count on him. Christy Nome brings hot dogs when they'll let her in. Bobby Kennedy favors tequila. You get a worm. But the CDC and the FDA are shut down, so the details cannot be confirmed. Canada now, 51st and 2nd state, Quebec, insisted on a separate statehood with the second-class citizen, while that francophone freight. Guadeloupe and Madagascar are 53 and 4. Yeah, so no one's left who's going to argue what we are, what we are. And Gaza was liberated. It's earned its 55th star. And this one has 6 points, like a golden shiny czar. Some call it a bit off-putting, this new kind of foreign aid. Instead of milk and cookies, he sends a big ticking grenade. Our army is never prouder. A parade each and every week. He keeps the cost of care in check. By the way, some killjoys have their own opinion. They call it bleak. We no longer care for wounded. If you're hurt, you're on your own. But there's a plan in the works to issue all the wounded a super smart Musk AI phone. It allows for one phone call, just 5 minutes tops. We could have made it longer, but that's for winners, not for flops. And I am selling timeshares at the new Gaza Strip Trump town, so let me know.
I refuse to laugh because a part of me is dreading that that's going to happen. I've been dealing with the TikTokers saying, Trump basically saying he's invading the Middle East is like fucking biblical. Like he's basically...
He said we're going to own it. We're going to fucking own it. Even more.
Still big Revelations vibes here. Let's change things a bit and give ourselves a preview of next week's feature. Let's welcome up Ari Whipple.
Well, I'm not reading one of my own right now, for this round. I wanted to read some Keats because I've been reading Keats lately, because I've been feeling, especially like this week, I was feeling like really just horrified by everything that was happening. And so I just, when you feel bad, just turn to Keats. So, O solitude, if I must thee dwell. O solitude, if I must thee dwell, let it not be amongst the jumbled heap of murky buildings, climb with me the steep, nature's observatory, whence the dell, its flowery slopes, its river's crystal swell, may seem a span, let me thy river vigils keep, monk's boughs pavilioned, where the deer's swift leap startles the wild bee from foxglove bell. And though I gladly trace these scenes with thee, yet the sweet converse of innocent mind, whose words are images of thoughts refined, is my soul's pleasure, it sure must be, almost the highest bliss of humankind, when to thy haunts two kindred spirits flee. Thank you.
Fantastic. Ketchar is featured next week. We are moving forward with Marion Honecker. More golden shovels galore, I'm thinking.
Indeed. This one is called Winter's Narrow Passage. It's a golden shovel using lines from Jory Graham's The Violinist at the Window, 1918, from Sea Change Poems. Winter's Narrow Passage. The leaf-bare trees, staggered against sky. No, they are saying. When light does what light can do, giving them shadows dark as themselves, not remaining, the blue tinge of sky can make you think, yes, but it's not staying. With me, my treaded boots, what phrases I believe, they won't amount to a sentence again. The Hindus visit their buried god, too large to see all at once, for mine too much. Today they will see his sculpted ear. It has as much meaning as the whole. It died, my belief in one truth. To see clearly, do this. Make a study of one thistle, not the entire field. Accept smallness, then make a prayer to the God form of thistle. To me, a single tree is enough, blown open by light, scattered in shadow and shine. This morning I filled the cat's dish. It's all a form of ritual, of drifting up. I have my lined leather coat. It's cold again. In my crawl space, something is crouching. We are all bigger in our dreams than in waking, a being with immense shadow cast off by our tiny limbs. The word my is merely functional, not true. My head is a mirrored maze, so many cells, totally warped into monstrosity. It'll be empty. I'll send my gaze out and myself writing it. You are as impossible to know as God. Can you see the way cars handle light and see it ricocheting off white as sky? The fallen leaves whisper across the pavement, the whole forsaken. Like diamonds, the hardness of sky warns you from this door, from trying to pass through. All the doors you cannot pass through. It's time for a wool knit hat. This is when the leaf folds over, stem to head. It knows its own body. Time of snow, of being dusted in silence. What is mine? Where in me is the wisp of God, in the long dark, under the ice of winter's mind? We can't stand this, Pollard. What is this time to fold like a leaf? Before hatch, there was only the soup of yolk and patient warmth, waiting. Days are tallied, scored. It's time for gloves. It is time by yourself, self like snow, mere potential, in clouds. The caterpillar melts, it uncells, and is learning to become shaped for spring's weather. That's all, thanks.
Thank you. I'd like to see if Mr. Jeff Taylor himself is able to read at this point. I'm guessing not. All right, so we will. Who we move over to next? Let's do Let's go now to what we're going to say is the definitive Fran B performance from Mr. Robert Fleming.
Good evening. I'm Fran B, and I've been kicked out of the hive. I'm going to share some uh, art which I'm getting ready to show, and I am looking for some feedback on which frame color would work best for the art. I will show both, and then I will be encouraging Zoom room participation. This is the first art piece, and these are my two frame options. The left side, the red picks up the red in the picture, and I picked the right side as green because uh, green is the opposite of red. Um, so which one would you prefer as a frame, the red or the green?
I like the green.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm also a greenie.
Yeah, green.
Okay, so let's go with the green on that. And then this next picture is a skull. And then the two options for the frame are blue or orange.
I go blue.
I like orange. It pops more for me. I like because it has more like texture to it. And I think that's why I liked the other one too, is that it has more texture to it than the other frames.
I want like a more classical frame for this one. I don't like these frames.
Okay.
So
I'm going orange.
Bill, what color would you prefer for a frame? Would you prefer it to be black?
No, yes, black would do, but it would have to be a deep black in which the skull actually descended into the frame, so you couldn't actually tell where the skull began and the frame ended, or even where your skull began and ended. These two skulls, your skull, this skull, should blend together in the frame. That who is the frame and who is the framee?
Well, that's not going to happen because all of the galleries that I show in require for there to be put between the frame and the artwork something called a mat, which gives about 2 inches between the image and the frame. So I'm not going to have the image directly on the frame, but I would consider black. So it sounds like we have two orange, one blue, and one black. So I'll move on.
I might be the tiebreaker and say blue.
You'd say blue.
Yeah.
Okay. And then this is a picture of a human. And then this is either blue or orange.
Blue.
I like the orange for both the last one too.
I think in this case, I think the orange definitely works here.
The orange does not work. It's too weird orange anyway. More like burnt orange.
I like
So
blue
Bill,
also.
what if it wasn't going to be orange, what color would you want?
Oak
Well, I
mahogany.
chose the darker blue, but what the heck? I mean,
Okay.
Going with this selection, I would say the blue, but if I had a choice, I'd say a darker blue, closer to navy.
Okay. So I'll go on. I just have two more. So this is another photo which I'm going to use black. And then this is another photo which is brown. So the full body is the frame is either brown or blue.
Beige.
Brown. Definitely the brown.
Blue.
Blue.
Uh,
I feel like
Brown.
we're the dueling fairies in Sleeping Beauty. Pink, pink, blue, pink, blue.
The
Yes.
brown is
Okay,
textured. It's like
Does
wood
that picture
textured. I
show
like
his
that.
dingus?
a little bit. So go to the last one. This is a an airplane landing. So the background is either blue or orange.
Orange.
Yeah, I'd go with orange.
That's a really cool picture.
Thank you.
I like it.
I would go with blue.
Okay. Thank you for your input. I will make my choices and go ahead and buy the frames for them.
Thank you, Robert. I heard Jeff Taylor speak up earlier. Are you available to read now?
Yes, I am. Thank you. I'll just get to my poem here. So this poem was like a bunch of short poems, and then I kind of like poached the short poems to bring along this poem. So this is hanging a Magritte at McDonald's. Tell me of the forgeries hanging in museums, the tragedies that inspired their brushes. Let's talk the fat of how the bacon is made, how the flavor of death can be hammered so enticingly. Tell me there are clouds in your coffee. They have too many thoughts, but not enough hands. I'll lend you a smoke and a glass of water. It might take us days with everything that's been smoldering. I'll tell you I got out of bed like a cold lighter, sculpting what I need from what I've got, a line drawing inked into my pillow. If it's a map of my mind, then it's a part I don't often use. I was changing my clothes when I thought I was changing my skin, refining energy from the crude output of my preoccupation. It's something I can't stop doing. Tell me how to stop the death machine from working so effectively. This isn't an alarm, but it hit me on the side of the head like it was. We were humming different songs. The sound was tracing its hand with my hand. No one could tell we hated it here. We are both crying in our coffee, thirsty for motion. Both of us are smoking, but only one of us is on fire. And I get another one that I just wrote today. If I can read another one.
Sure.
This one is it's called Congress Takes a Beach Day. The line in the sand keeps moving with its interviews and intervening activities, tallying assumptions, accumulating mirrors to see us like we see us, to sell us their filtered vision of us. They talk about numbers like the digits aren't flowing from our faces. They vacation in equations, run with the sentences, sleep in the hammock of our panic, wake up in the cliched rhyming of our instigation. The lines in the sand held themselves in intervention, combed the granular details, refigured the shape of their conclusions, streamed our consciousness. We spoke and they listened. That was Congress Takes a Beach Day.
Nice job. Thank you
Thank you.
much. And we did have two people who came in late that we'll end off with them before our seminal closer. But before we get to those two, our two tardies, but we're welcome. You're both welcome. I haven't seen you in a while. Let's welcome up first John Wezick.
Hi, you like the cover? That's the book that's coming out. Got another comedy sketch for you. Okay, I need 4 actors. Dr. Frankenstein, Igor, Martha Stewart, and Baron von Frühstück. Do we have any volunteers?
I'll
Yeah,
be
I want to
somebody.
volunteer.
Jeff Taylor, you're Dr. Frankenstein.
Hell yeah.
Bill Lewis,
Frankenstein.
I'll take Baron von Furstein.
Baron von Frühstück. I need
Ah,
Martha.
Martha, I'll be Martha.
Okay, Martha, good. All right. So I'll be the narrator. It's called It's Alive. Dr. Frankenstein and Igor stand over a body covered in a shroud.
They laughed at me at the university, but I proved my rivals wrong. From this lump of inanimate tissue I've created.
Dr. Frankenstein removes the shroud with a flourish to reveal the reanimated Martha.
Martha Stewart.
When
Martha,
a room smells of acetone, isopropyl alcohol, and ripe cadavers, I like to set out a bowl of potpourri.
Igor, your line. Igor, you're muted. Bill Lewis, you are Igor.
I
Unmute.
didn't know how to Igor. Sorry, excuse me. Very confusing. Herr Doc. What's my motivation? Who's Igor? What accent did you have?
It's Dr.
the lump's on
Frankenstein's
the other
love
side.
handle.
Very
Now that my
confusing, Herr Doctor.
Now that my proof of concept is complete, I will implement my plan for world domination. I'll start by reanimating Emilio Lagasse and then use my two creations to breed an unstoppable army. Only that damn Dutchman stands in my way. Martha, I command you to kill Abraham von Helsing.
Stuck for ideas on what to grill? How about brushing corn on the cob with a fruity olive oil, wrapping it in foil, and placing it on the coals? It's a good thing.
No, no. I meant kill as in shoot, Martha.
He hands her a weapon.
I command you to shoot von Helsing with this tachyon ray.
Did you know that you can also grill fruit? I like to dip pineapple slices in a mixture of soy sauce and honey before placing them over the high heat to develop a delicious char.
You didn't infuse a serotonin you bought last year with the Tiavana, did you, Herr Doctor?
It's perfectly fine, Martha.
He hands her a knife.
I command you to stab von Helsing.
Did you say lab, nerve gas, death race, weapons grade, plutonium? Nothing says progress like a mad scientist's lab. Radiation shielding doesn't have to look grim and foreboding. Try spraying it with enamel paint in mauve or chartreuse. Attaching self-adhesive appliques adds an extra heartwarming flair.
Jawohl, perhaps ein hearing aid, Herr Doctor?
No, it's no use. This prototype is a failure, Igor. Take Martha to the wood chipper.
He notices Martha listening.
I mean, put her to work in the recycling center, where she can create all sorts of handicrafts from wood, bottles, and glitter.
Hit her? Oh no.
Martha rampages around the lab, destroying equipment. The doorbell rings. Igor returns with von Frühstück.
Herr Doctor,
The representative from the Alumni Association is here.
Victor Frankenstein, I'm here to witness your demonstration so I could describe it in the Where Are They Now column in the Heidelberg Crimson. Go, Big Red.
Oh, I think you went too far. Oh, wait, no, okay. I'm afraid you caught me at a bad time, Herr Baron. The Van der Graaf generator is in the shop. Perhaps you'd like to sample my memory erasing potion instead.
Nah, never mind.
He looks at
Who
Martha,
is
who's
that
still rampaging.
delightful Who is that delightful creature?
Oh, her? She's just the maid. Her cleaning methods can be a little extreme.
I must say, I'm quite smitten.
He
My
calls to Martha.
dear, perhaps you'll dine with me tonight. I know a place that serves marvelous roast duck.
How dare you?
He slaps
I'm
von
not that
Frühstück.
kind of girl.
Ah, you have spirit. Ah, well, if dinner is too much, perhaps we could have a brew.
Martha rampages.
Or maybe some oysters from Nantucket.
Martha rampages.
Forgive an old man, my dear. It's just that Elsa died last year, and I miss how we used to 69.
Fortified wine? Why, I love fortified wine. For a refreshing summer drink, try Carpano Antica Vermouth on ice with a sprig of fresh mint. I pick it right from my garden.
Well, Doctor, I will write you a glowing review in the Heidelberg Crimson. My dear. Oh, come, my dear, I'll be yours after a brief stop at the podiatrist. I need to get a toe swab.
Thank you
Bravo!
to the great players.
Woo! Author,
Congratulations,
speech.
Von Bessick.
Ah, you were great.
And remember,
Von
folks, don't call it a
Bessick.
skit. Thank you, John. And thank you to the all your not ready for prime time players. Let us let's go now to our final people for the first round. First up is Julian Matthews.
Hi. Been a while. The bell, the mug, the shoe, the bookshelf, and the armchair. I no longer believe in romanticized love. I believe in kindness and honesty and moral compasses. Love is too ephemeral, a shape-shifting cloud, a faceless shyster. I'd rather the consistency of a church bell. Its clapper swinging from side to side, each strike, each ring announcing its presence, a repeating refrain, calling out character. I hold dear the cracked mug that can take the heat off morning coffee, afternoon chai, or evening's hot chocolate, serving soul balm with the calm of a chalice. I relish the comfort of old sneakers, protective and elevating despite this old baggage of flesh and bone. A pair to bear the cross of my weight, as if anointing my flat feet with their swoosh, their trainer soles, their lace tongues. I admire a sturdy and straight bookcase, its selfless shelves that hold up the chosen collective, not unwilling to take on more nor judging me less for unturned hardcovers, the unread paperbacks of storied lives, knowing words within are to be savored, not belabored, and there's always time to catch up. I praise the favorite armchair, the pew, the park bench, any recliner or unlofty throne that provides the briefest respite from the hubbub of the masses, the dub of mediocrity, the chatter of white noise, the clatter of slammed doors. In short, I'm a believer of endurance, of faith, forgiving, and the faith that an affection that just is, neither fishy nor foul, not dodgy emojis nor needy howls, a bell for whom no one takes a toll, a cup that has no need to run it over, weary feet that need no binding, a shelf that will never be shelved, a chair that has legs, ordinary things that are self-aware, giving, receiving, abiding, just being there. Thank you. Oh,
Thank you
that's
so
it.
much,
Thank you.
thank you much so much, Julian. Now up next, it's Mr. Magister himself, Mr. Ed Galt.
Thank you. This is a page that I'm tentatively going to call Looking for You Still. I'm also thinking of another title for Coming Back. You can tell me what you think is more appropriate. I wrote this just a little last week. Here it is. You looked at me from across the room as if seeing me for the first time in years, as we had been married for 15 but had become strangers somehow, not even speaking the same language. That night, though, you saw me. I could see it in your eyes. You had come back, at least for a moment, if only to give me a hug. Then you went back to where exactly, I don't know. I am looking for you still. Thank you.
Thank you, Ed. And coming to the end of the coming to the end of the first round, we close out with our ultimate closer, Mr. James Van Loy. Check out his poem column. It's all one thing every Thursday morning at 11 a.m. And take it away, sir.
Thank you. So I have a piece here called this is one of my first Labyrinth pieces, the 14th annual memorial for those who died on the streets or in the shelters of the Commonwealth. We actually just had I think the 35th, and this was the 14th, probably about 2003. So this is from about 20 years ago. 14th annual memorial for those who died on the streets or shelters of the Commonwealth Labyrinth. Here we are again at the center of the labyrinth cowpath city near the fountain on Boston Common, whose bright green May grass floats cardboard tombstone, and each one bears at least one name graced by a cut flower and flags that fly on sticks for the veterans. And there are almost too many to count, especially from the distant gold of the State House dome. Tell the native people who built the fish weir we found on the other end of the common about homes. We're all homeless Americans. Great changes happen when the sky cries. Brother Blue is really a healing doctor, and every word becomes a poem of tones. 15 years ago, I scribed the names on white crosses with black paint, and with a handful of disgruntled shelter workers, pounded them as stakes of protest into the heart of the city by the old bandstand close by. Long ago, back in school, they said the labyrinth was a symbol of the city maze with a half man, half beast, minotaur monster at its center to devour country kids. But those Native Americans always knew it was Mother Earth. Now we gather for the 14th annual memorial service to commemorate those who died without a home, and even the microphone and the podium go silent. There are hundreds of workers and volunteers from service organizations and advocacy agencies gathered all around the cardboard headstones. 15 years ago, there were about 60 names I scribed in black paint on crosses. Last year, there were more than 100 names, 180 names on the cardboard headstones, painted by the artist at the St. Francis House art program. This year, they painted 229 names, so many that many headstones have more than one name for the first time ever. Perhaps this city labyrinth is an engine of death. Who is the Minotaur monster? Where's Mom? Where is Mom? And here's a poem, song for you called Old Palestine. In 1948, the natives were expelled from the land of their ancestors, their homes and cities shelled from the traitors in Transjordan and clandestine British demand by the settler Zionist army that rampaged across the land. Oh, Palestine, oh, Palestine, we hear your desperate plea that once again across the land your people can be free. Oh, Palestine, your people live in fear. We demand your emancipation from the river to the sea. In 1967, Israel did invade to conquer and to colonize what little land remained. The people of old Palestine once again their fate entwined with the Zionist occupation of their homes and weary minds. Oh, Palestine, oh, Palestine, your people live in fear. We demand your emancipation from the river to the sea. In 2023, they've come a final time to destroy your homes and families. The bombs overhead to fall. There's a answer for your lies, and the sky does glow and the blood does flow. We hear the children's cries. Oh, Palestine, oh, Palestine, your people live in fear. We demand nation from the river to the sea. And that's a guy named Seth Watkins. He's an American songwriter, and it's based, I think, on a tune that comes from Ireland originally. So thank you for that. And I feel like I have to really do that right now because, you know, this whole thing that's going on here is just beyond anything that they're doing. I think we all feel that at some level. I really feel we all feel that. And it's really important for us to tell them they cannot do this, okay? The statement that Trump just made uh, about turning this site of a genocide into a Riviera on the Eastern Mediterranean. I mean, this is an obscenity. It's a total obscenity. It's beyond any kind of sense of human decency. These people are out to lunch, and this is an empire that has failed. It completely failed. In putting leadership like this, openly putting these billionaires in charge of our government is just absolutely beyond anything. They really need to be told that they cannot do this to the American people. This is a crime against us, okay? They are implicating us all in a genocide by doing this openly, attempting to impose this removal of these people who have just been devastated, probably by hundreds of, he basically admitted in his speech that hundreds of thousands of people were probably just killed because he brought the population down to 1.7 when there were originally 2.3 million people there. So that's someplace between 5 and 600,000 people. He basically admitted, just admitted, are dead. So I just wanted to say that, and I think we all really need to know that this is not about partisan politics at this point. Both of these parties are completely implicated in what just happened and what they are attempting to do. So thank you for listening.
Thank you, James. And now we go back to start. And if Jackie Chow would like to read once again,
Okay.
you're more than welcome to.
All right. I have something that's open right now. Okay, I'll read this one. It's called Crescent. Tonight I am the moon, silver metal, curved as a hook. I fish you from my sky, the stars stuck like insects to a velvet blanket, wiggling their legs of beams. Don't you slumber, indolent one, but dance with me through the wee hours, to the sweep of my skirt. I am the light you struggle to see under drooping eyelids, when all you desire is a pillow to lay your head on. Okay, that's one. Sorry, it's taking me a little while to open the documents. Oh, okay, let me see. I'm just gonna read one more and that's it. Sorry. Okay. I'm gonna just read one poem. I can't find the other one. You can go ahead and call on the next person. I can't find my poem. Oh, wait a minute.
Okay, I understand.
Check your purse.
Check your purse. Yeah. All right, up next, let's go to Nike Truth.
Okay, one moment. This is the latest version of a poem called Broken Glass. It just happened to be there, this innocent bottle of apple soda. So I grabbed it, and with all the strength of my little arms, I brought it down, hard, and it kissed those cheap linoleum floors with a muted response that really disappointed me. And a lame fizzle escaped its pieces as it laid in destruction, and all I could think that was just me on the floor, a lame fizzle, a bunch of scattered pieces that someone will just clean up with a tired heart. So I grabbed the broom and swept it up. But the more I swept, I found pieces of glass everywhere. Under the bed, behind shoes and laundry baskets, near the television stand and the paper shredder, large pieces in a completely different room around the dog cage and boxes of miscellaneous crap. I was going through my purse looking for gum when I saw pieces of glass I got in there. Shards of it disguised itself as ice in my drink. I barely even noticed how it sliced down my esophagus. When I turned the shower on yesterday, the rain glass hit my face with steaming comfort, and the fragments gathered like salt at the drain. The other day I opened the closet, and glass puddled at my feet. I coughed too hard, and shiny bits always come up. Thank you.
Ken, you're muted.
Oh crap! I guess I will. I guess we'll go now to the Stone Soup Players, as led by director Bill Lewis.
I think I will pass for this moment and finish the Adventures of Franby on the next week.
Okay, fair enough. Jan Rowe, I believe you're up next. If you're still there, there you are.
Yeah, I'm still here. Oh, I'm not going to read my little obituary for Eddie Atkins. I want to read this. Healing Continues. And it is from August, and it's about a book of poetry that James Parker, one of the starters of the writing group, is called Healing Continues. Takes a while sometimes. I sent my brother-in-law James Parker's Odes to Being Alive, get me through the next 5 minutes. First, because he had a tumor in his urinary bladder removed through the urethra in his penis. Ouch. As a nurse, I always said ouch when I gave shots. Second, because he has a full-size drum set in his large multi-room basement in Tribes Hill, New York. James Parker writes about drumming and the non-dominant hand. In my last 2 years of college to be a teacher, I got a job along with my 22 months younger sister Bobby at a new supermarket, GB's, in Southwest PA. The early 1970s was before scanning. We had to push the keys using the fingers of the right hand. I'm a lefty. However, I cannot remember thinking I would have difficulty using my right hand to press the keys since I was a left-handed for writing. Now I write left-handed and use the computer mouse right-handed. And by the way, majority of people in the mental hospitals are left-handed, both sides of the desk. Thank you. I'm so sorry.
And mic drop. Thank you, Jan. And up next, let's bring back Richard Spizak, straight from the Gulf of America and phoning from his new Gaza resort. Good Lord.
Thank you so much. I'm going to share screen. This is I think worth looking at. This is a little piece. Even though it's vintage, unfortunately there are strong resonances. This was during the excesses of Homeland Security founding and the charming. We all remember the black sites and the stress positions. This is that call for right-wing justice, as they call it. It's called Homeland Defense. Between the kings of Saudi oil, where Shell and Exxon dare not despoil, and those of Wall Street's fiscal toil, where betting against the working man guarantees a stock's demand, and Desert Prince with generous eye holds courts intense, where gas station cards shall pay the rent. Does the oily hand of GH show the old CIA man still in control? Pass the ID cards, but not a fakin'. This way from true American icons shaken. Your face will now be pre-recorded and all your flights will now be boarded. Arm the pilot, the stewardess too. Next to the pillow and the barf bags fun, all passengers now will be given guns. Ah, for a shootout in the airy blue. Oh, what just a day can do. I pictured the Stewie, tray in her hand, confronted by the wanted man, tosses the tray into his face, spins on her arm, and kicks him trace. He rolls across the cart to a Boy Scout troop who toss him up and steal his boots. His arms behind his back now tied, bounce him over to the choir side, who pummel, pillage, then retire, and all those who were watching were inspired. Then a group of Civitan asked for a few fingers from his hand, but a brownie troop wanted his bushy beard. You should have heard the things I heard. Then an old monk, a Jesuit, gave him twice a goodly kick, and the secretary gets him with her bick. Although the pilot and co-pilot were vying for priority to submit their decision to the vote of the majority. Some wanted to toss him right out the door, but a cloister of nuns still wanted some fun. They dragged him back to the airplane tail where the rugby team ran him back to the gale, and up to the galley where they banged his head 2 or 3 times on the oven's lid, and a group of congressional aides in first class pulled every hair from out of his ass, and a covey of comedians dove right in with a left and a right to his nose and his chin, and a group of traitors down from Duluth pushed him and mashed him into the roof. Some ceiling tiles and an overhead bin broke when they tried to stuff him in. But let this be remembered and never forget. Don't ever wait till your library book's late.
Words to live by. Thank you, Richard. Ari Whipple, you're up next.
Sure. I've got a couple that I wanted to read. They're pretty short. The first one's called And They Gather. I wrote this in 2023, and I just recently typed them up, so they're a little bit more timely. The boat rushes in, and I wave hello. Another afternoon delight coming in, and foreseen thing coming into the harbor. They're really on their way. I wonder on the dock what's on the docket for us poor folks. I can only guess, but I wasn't in the room where it happened. I don't see where the documents get signed and the handshakes get shook. I can only feel it with my animal of my knowing of the bitter realm of my release, that they conquer here and I am defeated, and I will probably die here in the sweet nether of the beach of afternoon, the dark nothing of the perfect sunny afternoon. So that's one. And the other is the boats that gather. You can feel it in the air, the stink of rich S as they fill up the water, literally showboating, doing something that is ostentatious, and soon am witness. And it leaves a feeling in my pit of my stomach at first that is dazzled, then a feeling of warning call, knowing they have stretched some kind of rule, some kind of thing that they are here. They think they can hide in their boats, that they are nameless and faceless, that they do is anonymous in all things, but in truth, not all things are anonymous in the end, and truth will be exposed for what it is. Thank you.
You can catch much more of Ari at their feature this next Wednesday here at Stone Soup. Be there. And now, golden shovels fill your eyes. A little Beatles intro from Marianne Honecker.
Okay, this is indeed another golden shovel. It's called You Can't Bottle the Wind. It's using lines from Ada Lehman's Drowning Creek from The Hurting Kind. You can't bottle the wind. Beside the road, the husk of hawk is there. Feathers fluff in traffic's wind, but the bird is gone. Essence of sassafras, essence of a fir, whisper of willow branches, solitude. the scrape of leaves walking over the earth. Inside sound, the hawk had knowing. Where has this bird flown? It is a dressing of the world. It goes down into the earth, the Bible says. I can't accept this. All has soul. It cannot but move elsewhere. A balloon I can't pierce. It holds its secret of breath. Searching, I scout my body for where the divine nest would rest in that quietude. Even forests die, the sacred lofting from them, a bird. The forest had breath, congregate soul. Where now is it? That's all. Thanks. It's getting catted pretty badly there.
That was definitely a mom, 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 mummy, mummy move on the cat's part. Love that. Anyway, um, going back to Mr. Robert Fleming, if he wishes to go again.
Thank you, Chad. I will share something different. Here it is. The genre is flash memoir, creative nonfiction, 513 words. First walk to school by myself. I am a boy. I live on land in a home. I go to school. My name is Robert. Robert, you're old enough to walk to school alone, says Mother. Mother opens the home front door. Walk to school, says Mother. I turn my back on Mother. I put one foot in front of the other. Mother closes the home door. I turn around to see Mother. Mother blows a kiss. Mother is gone. I walk down the stairs in front of my home. The sidewalk is Belvedere Road. I turn left, up a hill. The hill is steep. I puff air. My pant legs are wet. I did not tuck my pants into my boots. I can walk from the top of the hill to school by myself. I'm on top of the hill by myself. I see my school. I walk down the hill swinging my arms. My left hand is cold. I lost my mitten. The hill comes flat. The lady in the orange cape tells me to cross the boulevard. I do. I do not hold orange cap lady's mitt. On the other side of the road is my bus stop. Bus 66 stops here. Some kids take 66 to school. I walk. One more block to school, a big block. On my left is the Church of St. Snow. It is not snowing. St. Snow is asleep. There is Roslyn Schoolyard. I walk down the hill. I jump one foot in front of the other. Down the hill, faster, puff the air. The bell rings. I line up in grade 3. In the morning, qu'est-ce que c'est un nom? Dit Madame Barbon. Jack pushes my pencil on the floor. Claire giggles. I reach for my pencil. Robert, est-ce qu'il y a un nom sur le plancher? Dit Barbon. Jack giggles. Recess is hockey. I raise my stick above my head. Lunch is sitting with the monitor for high sticking Pierre. The snow falls from the sky onto the land. I line up with grade 3. I march into school. The afternoon. What is the multiplication table? Asks Miss Owen. Jack puts a note on my desk. I open the note. Robert, read your note to the class. Robert, now, says Miss Owen. Robert loves Claire. Kiss, kiss, kiss. Go to the bathroom? No, get back to the multiplication table, says Miss Owen. Stop looking at the snow. Get back to the tables. The snow falls from the sky. The snow covers the red Roslyn School in white. It snows, it snows. The snow blows. It is recess inside. I build a Lego home. Jack breaks my home. Jack and I punch. I stay with the monitor in the vestibule. The snow wolf howls. I go back to my desk. The bar on the clock is 4. The bar is at 6. The bell rings, the bell rings. Go to the vestibule. Put on your boots, says Owen. Will you walk home, says Owen. I walk to school. Thank you. And that was originally published in Boys Life, the current magazine for the Boy Scouts. For boys, around 8 years old.
Thank you, Robert. Jeff, if you have time.
Yeah, I can read one. I'm obsessed with Douglas Blazek, so I'm going to read one of his poems from his book Lethal Paper. You may know him from the Mimeograph Revolution, Olé magazine. This is called Physics. According to Einstein, you could look at a landscape using binoculars. You will see trees beyond your eye's ability to see trees. If you use a telescope, you will see China from California. If you use a very powerful telescope, you will see past our solar system, past the stars of our galaxy, out into other galaxies. If you use a telescope more powerful than what now exists, you will see to where no human has ever before seen. If you use the most powerful telescope imaginable, you will be able to see your ass. That was Physics. This one is called Communication. Life kept throwing rocks through his window, especially when he wasn't suspecting them. After one would shatter the glass and his heart calmed enough to get out of the chair, he'd walk over to pick it up and carry it into the kitchen where he'd examine it carefully with various tools and instruments. He'd weigh it, chart its contour, then crack it open. He did this to every one of them all the years I knew him. When he died, his living quarters were lined with shelves crammed with rocks, all split but one. It was the one he was saving to throw back. That's from Douglas Blazek, Lethal Paper.
Thanks, Jeff. I think you covered him before on our open mic.
Yeah, I've been obsessed, so I have to share my obsessions.
There you go. Thank you. And John Wesick, I don't know if you're up for directing another sketch or reading a preview from your work
Oh, I'm
coming
up
out.
for something. Let's see what I'm up for. Okay. So, okay, anyway, not terribly much of an activist, but here are some pictures. This was, because if you don't show up, people will think it doesn't matter. So let's see if I can do this. This was the Women's March slash People's March back on January 18th. This happened to be in Portsmouth, New Hampshire at the Unitarian Church. And these guys playing there are the leftist marching band. And they were pretty good. You had sort of, there you go, People's March, Seacoast. You had cheerleaders there or whatever, drum majorettes, what do you want to call them? And, okay, anyway, today was February 5th, and there was a thing on just Facebook saying, hey, everybody go to 50 states, 50 capitals. and protest. And so I drove up to Concord, New Hampshire. It's 20 miles away, and this is the state house there. A lot of people there. No Trump, no KKK, no fascist USA. Resist the grift. Hey, hey, ho, ho, Elon Musk has got to go. And this was a sign I kind of liked. And the lady who was holding it saw me and, kind of gave me a thumbs up when I was laughing at her sign. Here we go. No one voted for Elon. Congress, do your job. Where is Ayotte, Kelly Ayotte, the governor of New Hampshire? Deport Musk. Anyway, there you go. There were protests. There was a news anchor there, or news reporter there on TV. I saw on YouTube a lot of other states were doing the same thing. So, you know, I don't know. Go out there, yell for an hour, have some tacos. Went to Gilbert's bookstore, great bookstore in Concord afterwards. There you have it.
Thank you. Whoops. Thank you so much, John. And now it looks like Julian left us a little early, so that means we have two left for the second round robin. Mr. Galt, you're up next.
Thank you. Well, I would like to read something from my book. Um, this is um, this is something. Um, Here it is, shooting the turtle. I saw this turtle on the road. It reminded me of so many of the turtles in my youth that I picked up and took home. I thought I might get a picture. So since the turtle wasn't going anywhere, not very fast anyway, I attached my telephoto lens and got into position only to be interrupted. "I'm sorry, sir, I can't let you take a picture," the officer said. Then he cited the Patriot Act. Now this is like, I think I wrote this maybe 15 years ago, and this was during the first Bush administration. So we haven't even gotten to Trump yet. Um, Now this next one is saying, this next one is one I got uh, a nomination for the Pushcart Prize for. It's called Drawing the Moon. It's kind of apolitical. You called Drawing the Moon. You came up to me with your little red book, the one you put the stickers in, and a crayon. You told me that you wanted me to draw the moon. So I drew a line for the horizon, long vertical lines between trees. A river flowed down through them. Then I drew stars. Ready, I drew the moon. Finally, I drew the moon and filled the sky dark blue because you wanted to see me draw, and there would come a time when you would not care what I can do. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Magister. And now we come to the close once again, which is the actual close with Mr. James Van Loy.
There we go. Okay. So I have a piece here. This is called word hordes, or why markets don't work anymore if they ever did. The last time we went through total change, even approaching the level we're now enduring, was centuries ago. And what has now transpired in decades took centuries of forgetful generations to destroy the old system of information manuscripts, once sacred, becoming secular holy libraries of books, as now libraries become this sprawling internet of things and books mere thin wafers of readout and cloud of unknowing where there will be and now is a new economy, entirely something else different than set linear type of individual module, become this relentless bottom line, and the assembly line itself already been transformed now. Container ship arrival just on time, national state gone, gone global. Network of total interpenetrating connection, inextricably all little bits organized into this huge, overwhelming, holy whole. All the competing succession of empire imploded in supernova of relationship in one world, all one thing, just for now together. Ah, the great and almost instantaneous multicultural miracle. Ready or not, ready or not. Because we are one family, wherever we may be. One union shall unite us, forever proud and free. No tyrant will defeat us, no nation strike us down. All those who toil will greet us, the whole wide world around. Our siblings are all others, forever hand in hand, where chimes the bell of freedom. That is my native land. My brother's fears are my fears, yellow, black, or brown. My sister's tears are my tears, the whole wide world around. Let every voice be thunder, let every heart beat strong, until all tyrants perish, our work shall ne'er be done. Let not our memories fail us, the lost years shall be found. Let slavery's chains be broken, the whole wide world around. Thank you. Peace.
And with that, this is going to be a feisty open mic to listen back to when I upload this tomorrow. I'm loving this, and if you haven't seen on Facebook already, not only is our feature Ari Whipple next Wednesday, but also at the end of February on the 26th, we got Mega Sud with her brand new book, and we're looking very forward to that. And I'll hopefully be announcing more features by the weekend. And I definitely have to finalize some people who are hopefully featuring in May and June. So I've jumped around a bit and hope to get some finalizations for National Poetry Month as well. So I will keep you guys posted. Thank you guys for keeping me on my toes and coming out and coming out always. Check out Stone Soup for more calls for submissions. I'll probably repost the Los Angeles anthology there tomorrow. Apparently, we helped get 120 submissions to the Depose anthology Mark Lippman was putting out. So let's keep on going out, and thank you guys very much. Obligatory wave, obligatory wave, obligatory wave. I can't. Where's my hand? Oh, here we go. Thank you guys very much. Cat should be waving in the back of you too, but maybe I'll use some AI generator. He can just go. But thank you guys very much. Have a wonderful evening. Take care of yourself. Take care of someone else. Be careful during the storm for those of you who are in my neck of the woods. And have yourself an excellent evening. And, well, show's over. See you next time.